With, you know what, no way to tell.
It's youngest. So Kareem played.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was games. It's youngest. All right.
Jason Kidd took issue with a narrative around Kyrie's injury. 2 facts here. Fact number 1, over the last 6 weeks, Kyrie played almost 39 minutes a night, most in the NBA.
Oh, my gosh.
Fact number 2, Kyrie's ACL injury ended his season and expected to last into next season. Most people saw a link between those two, but Jason Kidd disagrees. Take a listen.
The load had nothing to do with the injury. Like we're talking about one play, not many plays before that. He steps on Valanciunas' foot. It's a freak accident. That's how it should be reported, but we're not reporting it right. We're reporting on conspiracy theories. We want our stars to play as many minutes. This isn't supposed to be a rest league.
That was interesting.
Interesting? It's just straight common sense. And I know there was a doctor that said, oh, yeah, that may have. All the medical experts will say that him playing 39 minutes a game put strain on him. But these are the same medical experts, because everybody blames the players for load management. But the experts on each team are telling players, they're really saying your body can't take 80 games a year anymore. It can't. That's what they're saying. But if you look at high-achieving people and everything, my wife's a medical doctor. Her body wasn't built to be on call for a whole weekend. But you know what? You do it. And there's lawyers, people on Wall Street, all these people that medically, you're not supposed to work that many hours. All right, so that means nothing to me for this expert to say that. Kyrie Irving, unfortunately, is injury-prone and has been throughout his career. Was it minutes, in the finals when he averaged 36 minutes a game that season and broke his kneecap in the first year they played the Warriors? What about in 2018, the 2017-18 season with the Celtics when he had a knee injury? He averaged 32 minutes a game. Or what about in 2019-2020 when he had a shoulder injury, averaged 32 minutes a game? I mean, Kyrie unfortunately gets injured. That's what it's not about. There was too much wear and tear.
Well, it might have been.
He might have got hurt playing. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
I understand. He definitely might have. But if you've got a 1 in 100 chance to get hit by a car crossing the street, and in your normal day you cross the street 15 times, and then for a month and a half you start crossing the street 25 times, you're more likely in that frame to get hit by a car. And Kyrie Irving is an injury risk. And so having a 6-week stretch where he plays more basketball than any other player in the league seems foolish to me. Brew, I agree with you on a lot of the load management stuff. I don't view, there has to be a kind of a happy medium between nonstop load management and an aging, undersized, injury-prone player leading all of basketball in minutes. That was, and people can say you're Monday morning quarterbacking this. I am not. On this show, 2 weeks before the injury, I read Kyrie's minutes off. So he did 44, 42, 40, 39, 44, and talked about how it was a concern. Not because I thought he was going to blow out his knee, but because I was like, man, if he just even misses 2 weeks, they have no margin for errors, the context of it. I don't know. We don't know if this would have happened or not if he was playing less minutes. But it is not, to me, it is common sense. The more you play, the more likely you are to be hurt. And I do believe that the wear and tear and the fatigue of a guy who's not used to playing super heavy minutes, might lead to your body not being able to withstand a freak injury.
It felt like Jason Kidd was pushing back on the narrative that very quickly people put 2 and 2 together, whether it was right or not, and be like, Jason Kidd bears some responsibility for this injury. That's felt like the next logical step that he was
playing him so many minutes.
That's what it was. That Jason, this is what I think they're pushing back against. It came out there, look at all the minutes Kyrie is playing because everybody's hurt, and now Luka's not on the team, and so it's Nico Harrison's fault, and it's Jason Kidd's fault, and now Kyrie is injured. He's like, no, that's not.
Well, so this is the
not willing
so this
to
is the
say
one spot where the Mavs don't want the Kobe comp, because everybody knows that's how Kobe tore his Achilles. Nobody thinks that's you. I bet you agree that in the year with them trying to make the playoffs, he was playing 46 and 45 and 44 minutes. Then that final 2 weeks, and then his Achilles snapped. We all knew in the moment, and since then we've been like, yeah. I mean, they were playing him, and now that was really extreme, like every minute of the game, and that is a different injury. I understand, but I'm not saying definitively this is caused it. But obviously, you're more likely to get hurt if you lead the league in minutes.
Cincinnati. Here's Trey's numbers last 2 years. Led the NFL in sacks with 17.5 and had 92 pressures, but that Bengals defense wasn't very good. Nick, your reaction?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised you're surprised. You say you don't know what's going on in Cincinnati. They're still Cincinnati Bengals, right? I mean, this is they're not going to pay a guy with a year left on his contract that's not Joe Burrow. And they're certainly not going to, rip up a deal or give him big money. And I think I hesitate to blame Duke Tobin, who's the GM, because I don't know how tied his hands are. If he has free reign, like, hey, spend money however you see fit, and he's prioritizing going all in on offense over addressing the defense, I think that's a mistake. But if he's being told, we're not giving Higgins or Hendrickson an extension, then I understand him being like, well, at least I can franchise tag T and keep him for one more year. But yeah, I think that this is why people warn Joe Burrow about going there. I know people don't like me saying it because they had that instant success, but you can't win this way when you see the teams who are actually winning, what they spend and what they'll do to keep their players.
This is, I imagine, frustrating because when you look at the problems they had, it's pretty obvious where the main one was. It was defensively, and it was slowing people down. And you let a guy that walk out of the building that accounts for 92 pressures and 17.5 sacks. Those numbers are rare air, and it's great to have a star quarterback. And we see in Kansas City, yeah, they have a star quarterback too, but they also have a star defensive lineman. And that star defensive lineman has been able to make the guys around him better and the things that they do defensively better because he's a guy that can ruin the game. And for the opponent, and Cincinnati has that, and for them to say, okay, well, we're gonna move on from that in order to just keep a bunch of offensive firepower. I get you want to help the quarterback and you want to make that as successful as possible, but unfortunately there are 3 phases of football, and you need to be at least
They'll
adequate.
spend on special teams, coach.
Well, yeah, I don't even know if that's happening, but
it makes no sense. I mean, and I've said it. And T. Higgins is great, but you are going to keep Jamar Chase, and then you can get other good receivers and sign Trey Hendrickson. Like, when are they going to try to win games 50-45 every week?
That's what they did.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
And by the way, Sam Hubbard just retired. He's not a great player, but a good player.
It just makes no sense. I get bringing back Jamar, but you got to trade T, and you should sign Trey Hendrickson and build up your defense.
Is there any argument that, like, you know what, Trey is so good, I'd rather take maybe 2 B-level players rather than 1 A-plus player?
well, I imagine what happened is they saw what Las Vegas did, and that changed the whole game in terms of it's interesting that this comes out the day after Max Crosby gets his brand new deal. Maybe they were thinking about doing it now.